Hi, I'm Andrea Palmer. I was 25 when I was diagnosed with sarcoma in my right hand, and I'm currently 33. For me, my initial diagnosis and treatment, I was diagnosed with the tumor in my hand and had 2 surgeries and radiation, and then that was basically it. I was kind of in limbo, every 3 months indefinitely until I had hit that 5-year mark. And after a year and 3 months, I did suffer a recurrence, and it did spread to my armpit and my lungs, which is extremely serious. And I look back and I think I wasted a lot of time during that year and 3 months worrying about what I would do if I did have a recurrence, and really focused on that and read all the journals I could find at university, and everything pointed in the direction that I was going to die. And my prognosis was extremely grim, and I focused on that. And when I had my recurrence, something in you just pushes you and wills you to live and makes you go on. And I didn't read any more negative stories, because it didn't matter what the stories said or what the statistics were. I wanted to live, and whether they told me I had 5% chance, which is what my prognosis was, or 95%, I still had to be in that percentage that was going to live, so it really didn't matter. And so my advice would be, don't worry about how you're going to handle it. If it does happen, you will handle it. For me, after my recurrence, it was life or death at that point. It wasn't maybe, it was quite probable, actually. I decided to, in a sense, take things into my own hands, and I figured that my doctors would take care of everything medically and do whatever they could scientifically to save me, and had great confidence in them. I didn't question any treatments or what they wanted to do. I had great faith in them and let them do their job without interfering, and focused on what my job was. And for me, that was eating very well. It was exercising as much as I could, and some days that was going to the gym, and other days it was just taking a walk outside, whatever I could do that day, just to get a little bit of physical activity. It was prayer for me. It was meditating every day. I used to have a little ritual where I'd have a warm bath before going to bed and relax and meditate, and do a lot of visualizations about my body fighting off these tumors and being cured, and encompassing the spirituality that it didn't before. So it was really a lot of different pieces put together where I was in control, and I was going to do whatever I could to heal myself. It wasn't kind of wacky things like trying some new experimental drug or some herbal remedy. I had people come to me and want me to be their spokesperson for some magic pill they were selling, and I didn't really buy into any of that. I wanted to deal more with proven scientific things that were working, and also things that couldn't negatively impact me. So really focusing, using my mind, and I would say that the biggest help to me was using my mind to heal myself. And I remember my oncologist saying, okay, well, it's a 2.3 surgery cure rate. So I thought, okay, as long as there's something that you can keep trying to save me, I'm okay. As long as we're not running out of options, it's okay. So if it takes 2.3 surgeries to cure me, great, I'll keep having surgeries until I'm cured. Just don't ever tell me that there's nothing you can do for me. So reading about people and going through things, that it never scared me to go to the hospital or have to have something done, because I always felt like it was a positive action, that we were actually actively doing something to save me. So I guess another piece of advice I would say, and I've spoken to a lot of people that are very apprehensive about going to the hospital and visiting their doctors, and that really carries a sense of anxiety for them, and I didn't feel that. I felt safe in the hospital. I thought it was a good place, and a place where they were helping me get better. And in fact, I used to call when I'd go for chemo, I'd call it the hotel, and not consciously, I would just, when I was speaking of it, it would come out that my hotel room, not my hospital room. So don't be afraid of those things. They're all positive things to help you, and sometimes they're not fun, but it's an important step. So after the first year that I went through my initial diagnosis and treatments, and was in limbo waiting to see if I had been cured or not, I decided that I wanted to do something positive with my experience. I didn't want it to just be this negative thing that I had to go through and deal with. I wanted to use the experience to, teach others about young people with cancer, and realize that it wasn't just an old person's disease, that there was a lot of young people facing this, and also raise awareness for the type of cancer I had because it was so rare. And I decided to hold a fundraising event with the Canadian Cancer Society. So I organized an inline skating event with some of my friends, and got my friends and their friends and everyone else to support me with pledges, and set a goal of $10,000 the first year, and was quite successful. We exceeded our goal. We ended up raising $13,000. And the second year, I had faced a recurrence and had tumors in my lungs and had gone through chemo. And so that summer, I spent the entire summer going through chemotherapy, but still wanted to do my fundraiser. And the only thing that was a little bit different for me was not knowing the exact date I would be able to do it, depending on how I was feeling. So I promoted the event in terms of taking place on a weekend that I hoped it would, and said that date might be flexible, but I ended up doing it the day before my final chemo, and we raised $8,000 that year. So it really helped me mentally because I was doing something positive, and it took my focus off feeling sick and worrying, and gave me a project to focus on that was helping and making a difference. I would like to know why I have braces now. And basically I had braces when I was 13, and my teeth started to shift again. I kept noticing in photos that my teeth weren't bad. I mean, not by any stretch, and I'm sure most people didn't even notice, but for me, I felt like I was getting buck teeth and my teeth were sticking out. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have my teeth for another 50 years at least, so I better enjoy them, and I'm gonna go and get braces again and feel like a little kid. And so I guess just to tell you that life does go on, and you will stop thinking about things. I'm sure there was a time that I would have thought, oh, why would I waste the money getting braces? I'm probably not even going to be here in 3 years. And the time has come that I don't think about that anymore. I think I'm going to live, I'm going to survive, I'm going to have a great life, and I'm going to have braces.